And welcome everyone to game number 2 of this soccer doubleheader here from the fields at Southern Virginia University. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined again by Mike Harmon, getting ready to bring you game number 2 of this doubleheader. In the first game in the women's soccer contest, it was Barton over Southern Virginia by a final score of 5-0. And Mike, here in the nightcap of this doubleheader, we've got the Southern Virginia University men's soccer team taking on Greensboro.
Yeah, another monumental task for the Knights coming up. Several players are out this game, trying to get them healthy for the upcoming rest of the conference season. So we'll see how the Knights react to coming off of a pretty bad loss from this last weekend.
Knights are coming off that 7-0 loss at St. Mary's, coming in with a record overall of 1-8 on the season. Their lone victory September the 15th on the road at Ferrum College, winning that game 1-0. Yet to get a home victory, Mike, and yet to have a game this season where they have scored more than one goal.
Yeah, and this would be a tough game for them to do that. Greensboro, although their record isn't the greatest, they've had a lot of tough games that they've played and played very well.
2-4-1, and when we mentioned this before the women's contest started, that with that 2-4-1 record, they had a very close loss to Christopher Newport, very close loss to Washington Lee, and also beat Guilford.
Yes, and you know they've scored some multiple goals in several games, so they know how to put a lot of points up on the board. The starting lineups now for the Pride out of Greensboro will be number 2, Sam Connors, number 7, Robbie Barnes, number 8, Morgan Stevenson, number 9, Sean Watt, and that's who we'll have to watch and see how the Knights defend him as he leads the team with 4 goals.
He has good size too, 6'4", 175 pounds.
He is a big striker for them. Number 11, Craig Gage. Number 15, Scott Fatal. Number 19, Warren Washington. Number 22, Carlos Barragan. Number 26, Liam Buckley. Number 29, Isaiah Neege. And in goal will be number 38, Jamie Pamps. For the Knights, starting tonight, and again we'll have some people that will be starting in different positions. We'll have number 2, Alexander Dubé, number 5, Colin Flynn, number 6, Gabriel Ramirez, number 9, Isaac Smedley, number 10, Josh Smith, number 11, Greg Allen, number 13, Nick Francis, number 16, Court Cox, number 20, Noah Hogan, number 23, Cade Lowe, and in goal will be number 32, Keenan Carroll.
And we'll have to see exactly who's available to come off the bench. Maybe Molibal perhaps again.
Yeah, we'll have
saw some action Saturday at St. Mary's.
Have to see who's available and who's not. I know that Carlos Munoz is out. We know that Kenneth Fouchinet is out, and Tristan Lonergan is out. So those are 2 starters and 1 sub that we've seen play before here and play a great amount of minutes.
And you can see a couple of those guys in the huddle in street clothes.
Yeah, and again, we talked about that earlier. That's the best way to tell them that they're not playing. Also, you can see with the...
Now, you don't see too many soccer players playing in suit and ties.
No, not at all. You can see the broken nose there on Sam Horman also. And that happened in practice.
And Keenan Carroll, again, will be out as the goalkeeper. We'll see how he does tonight.
Yeah, we know he was fighting some illness earlier on last week, especially going into the St. Mary's game. We'll have to see and keep an eye on him. How long does he actually stay out there?
Who are the players they really want to get jump-started if they want to get their offense going? Maybe a Ramirez, perhaps, or a Josh Smith?
Josh Smith, obviously, because he's a returner and played a lot. Ramirez, they want him to be the playmaker. They're looking more for Drebay and Smedley to pick up some of the slack there and maybe get this offense jump-started to where they're scoring more than 1 goal in a game.
Greensboro, hard to tell what we can expect out of them. We mentioned not the greatest record, but then again, played a very tough schedule. And in that tough schedule, a lot of their losses, they haven't scored a whole lot. Then, again, they haven't given up a whole lot.
Yeah, and we know that the Knights have had a tough time scoring goals. It's been about 3 games since they've scored a goal. Earlier on, we saw the Knights come out very aggressive in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden kind of start to fade there. We want to see how they attack during this opening part of the first half.
Yeah, that last goal we saw was the first half goal against Roanoke College, a thing of beauty, I think, by Cade Lowe. And hard to believe we were talking about, raving about what a great play it was, what a great goal it was for the Knights, great passing and assist and Lowe's goal, and then they haven't scored since then. And they had a 1-0 lead in that first half against Roanoke, and again, since then have not been able to put one in.
Yeah, that might be called the commentator's curse. We're so impressed by the passing ability there that got Lowe the open look for the goal.
I know we were talking about. I know that Coach Patino and everybody would like to see more of that in the weeks to come, and obviously we have not seen more of that, at least in the next couple of games after that.
Yeah, and there's not a definite instance that you can put your finger on and say this is the problem with the offense of the Knights. There's just seems to be that every once in a while they're just a half a step slow to the ball. Their passes are a little bit off. And they let sometimes the offensive opposition slip behind them in that back row, so that's going to be a point of emphasis that we watch tonight also.
And they have been shut out, Mike, 5 times this season. Nice pass in the middle. And a good play by Carroll to stop that first shot.
Yeah, nice job of Keenan cutting down the angle, able to get his right hand on the ball, but not good sign for the Knights as they were able to let when the passes go right through the seam.
And Greensboro getting a good look again, but the Knights defender is able to block that ball away. But as you mentioned, Mike, even though the Knights have made some nice defensive plays here in the opening minutes, you just don't like the way this is shaping up, as aggressive as Greensboro is, and in just about a minute and a half, the good looks they've had.
Yeah, this is not the way that Coach Patino wanted to start out, although in previous games we've seen the Knights jump out to that kind of start and then fade at the end. Much rather see them build up and not be so behind at the end of the first half and into the second half also.
Drew Bay getting it in to Smedley.
Up, and here's their goal scorer.
Oh, great play. Great decision, too, by Carroll to come out and stop it.
But you saw how quickly Watt was able to transition from defense to offense, and they looked to find him a lot.
He is 6'4", not a whole lot of weight maybe per se for a 6'4" guy, 175 pounds, but then again, extremely quick.
And it's not hard to pick him out in the crowd when you're playing around with a bunch of
Not when you can accelerate like that.
Yep. Nice switch of fields by the Pride.
Good downfield pass. Drew Bay there, right there though.
Offsides on the Pride. And that was nice to see the Knights get back and be able to at least contest it, even though the offside was called. If it wasn't called, they were able to be there to contest any type of pass that may happen. Again, players playing in different positions. We usually see Drew Bay up at a forward spot. Now he's back on defense.
Drew Bay trying to get it ahead. Nice play by Ramirez to take it away. And now we've got some jostling out there.
Be a foul on number 22, Carlos Berrigan.
Mixing it up with Greg Allen there.
And usually we see Allen more up as a attacking forward, and now we'll see him as a midfielder. So again, we talked about it in the women's game. A lot of different players in different positions. In the men's game, we're seeing the same thing, trying to find that right combination of players.
Hogan battling for it, forcing the goalkeeper to come out. A lot of offense, though, in this first 5 minutes.
Yeah, we've seen a great shot on goal by the Pride. The Knights not really getting a lot of shots on goals, but able to keep the ball down in the offensive end as much as we've seen any other game.
Greensboro was maybe trying to go over the top, but the Knights with good defense getting back.
And again, with Watt being 6'4", it's easy to go over the top toward him because he's able to head the ball ahead to himself.
Hogan with it down the right side.
and just not able to control it enough that where he could center it back to the middle. Again, it's nice to see the Knights in this attacking mode. We've seen them way too much with a defensive in a defensive mode, trying to always defend. Good to see them push the ball down the field.
Best way to keep Greensboro away from the goal, obviously keep it down in this end.
Exactly, and put a lot of pressure on the defense, try to make it crack.
Nice pass for the Knights to get it close. Hogan, but it's booted away by Greensboro. Francis to Flynn, up to Ramirez. Pass knocked away by Greensboro momentarily.
And another nice switch of the field by the Knights, trying to make Greensboro defend the whole field instead of cutting it in half, just having to defend either the far side or the near side.
Knights with a takeaway. Francis to Drouet. Good steal by the Knights there. Cade Lowe, who got the last goal a couple weeks ago for the Knights.
And you know he'd like to be the one that gets the next goal for him today. So 8 minutes into the game, one shot on goal by the Pride. The Knights have been able to get some counterattacks going, but no real shots on goal.
Greensboro gets a player over to the left. Nice play by the Knights, though, to knock that ball away as Court Cox made the play.
Yeah, you saw Alexander Dubé get back, take a little bit of a bad angle. Again, not being a natural defender, used to playing up top as attacking forward. Took a little bit bad angle, but Court Cox was there to back him up. Quick start.
They try to go to the middle, knocked away by the Knights.
Still, though, Greensboro has control, and this is a dangerous time for the Knights.
Knights with a takeaway. Greensboro keeps it in. That's packing that defense in the middle. Hogan trying to work it up.
Nice crisp passing that we're seeing by the Knights.
And good spacing, too, by the Knights for the passing game.
We're seeing a lot of good touches.
I'm not sure there's a better player the Knights have maybe than Ramirez when it comes to maybe trying to go one-on-one getting by defenders.
And he uses that ability to really try to set up other players out there. It's not just for him.
Drouet trying to get the steal.
Oh, there's one of those dangerous seam passes again.
Carroll will take it. The Knights have actually had a pretty good last few minutes here.
They've played extremely well. And again, we talked about how we've seen them start off like this before, start off very fast and with an attacking mode, and then start to fade toward the end of the first half. Hopefully, the way that the Knights are playing now, they can sustain that not only throughout the first half, but throughout the whole game.
Trying to get back to where they were just a couple of weeks ago when they took a 1-0 halftime lead against Roanoke College, and against Washington Lee with about 10, 11 minutes to go, had a 1-1 tie.
It'd be very nice to see them jump out ahead, but it'd be really great to see them with a 2-goal lead. Something that they haven't had.
Roanoke College game, Lowe actually got his goal with, about 6, 7 minutes into the game.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see the Knights learn how to play with multiple goal lead.
As you mentioned, the Knights have yet to win at home and have yet to had a game this season where they have scored more than one goal.
Got a foul on number 22, Carlos Berrigan. We see one of the Knights over on the side. Two of the Knights over on the side loosening up. Looks like Coach Patino may be a liberal subber tonight. Try to get as many people in as he can. Again, trying to keep away from injuries.
Yep.
You have the rest of the conference season coming up, and you just want to make sure that everybody stays loose and starts to learn how to play in this system that they have.
Well, I'd love to see Mulaball come out and play tonight just to see how he fits in and where he might excel at. There's Watt with it, battling a few defenders, and the Knights are able to take it away.
And from the first few minutes, it looks like Greensboro really wants to try to play as fast as possible.
Really force the action.
Try to catch the Knights napping a little bit, especially with those seam passes going in between the defenders in the back.
The Knights seem content to really space their players out and try to keep possession of the ball with some passes. Player gets by and shoots it into the goal for Robbie Barnes, a senior. Not much Carroll could do about that, and just a question of how he was able to sneak behind the defense.
Yeah, that's something that you really got to pay attention to if you're a defender. You can't get caught ball watching. You have to keep your head on a swivel, see ball and man. And that was just a great run down the near side by Barnes.
So Greensboro scores first. Takes them about 12 minutes to get on the board.
Again, quick pace that Greensboro is trying to set.
Good takeaway by the Knights there. Good explosive move by Josh Smith upfield, but he lost it.
And right now, although the Knights are playing really, really good together, it looks like they're a little bit slower than the Greensboro Pride.
Okay, Lowe making the move, trying to get the ball away from a Greensboro player. Well, the Pride now seem content to space it out a little bit, Mike, and play keep away.
And they're trying to build up, and we see here comes the attack down the far sideline. It was reminiscent a few minutes ago. Ball just goes out of bounds, but Greensboro is going to try to spread out the Knights as far as possible and then try to find those runs going down the sidelines or trying to find that seam pass in the middle to Watt.
Now, this is probably one team you don't want to have a turnover against, where you give up the ball, especially in your own end.
Yeah, and you can see Watt just lurking there trying to see if you make a mistake, he wants to try to take advantage of it. But we're seeing much better passing by the Knights. The quick one or two touches and then the ball's off their foot to the foot of their receiver.
Over the top pass. Battled for it and a whistle. It'll go against Greensboro.
Again, just that attacking nature that so many teams have come in here to play against the Knights really start to stress the defense to the point where they find the open seams and put Carroll at great risk. Kelly comes in for Smith for the Knights.
Sam Kelly, freshman. Knights have really had a hard time this season, not just in general terms for the offense, but getting a guy like Josh Smith really going with his offensive game.
And just don't know. Again, there's no one thing that you can put your finger on and say, once we fix this, then everything starts to click. Again, a lot of injuries, a lot of new people playing in different positions. Offsides by Watt.
I would imagine he draws a few offsides calls with that kind of approach.
Yeah, he's always looking to get the ball ahead and go to goal.
In basketball, I think they used to call that cherry picking.
That's what they call it. Fortunately or unfortunately, there's no offsides in basketball.
Good centering pass. Knights trying to get a shot out of this. Smedley with a high shot. Two shots on goal now for Greensboro. Still none for the Knights, who trail here 1-0. A lot of headers downfield, Mike, and it is Carroll able to kick it out of there.
Yeah, but you can see how the Pride are just trying to keep on attacking, throwing the ball towards the goal, hoping that one of their players can run into it. And eventually all that pressure could lead to another breakaway situation for the Pride. The Knights will have to do a really good job of making sure that when they possess the ball and lose it, they have to get back and guard against the counterattack.
Greensboro quickly going on to the attack. Over to Watt. Robbie Barnes in the left corner for Greensboro.
Nice job by Colin Flynn clearing the ball out. Don't want to give Greensboro a chance right in the goal box.
Yeah, they were trying to get it over in the middle to Watt, it looked like. Watt with a nice header. And Ramirez is there to get it away. Greensboro keeps it in, though. Barnes left side. Centering pass. Boy, Watt had a great look at that one and just went off to the right with his kick. That was a golden opportunity there, Mike, for Greensboro.
Yeah, you just can't relax against Greensboro. They're reminiscent of Roanoke and Washington Lee, constantly attacking. And if you let your guard down just for a second, they're going to get a good shot off on goal.
Knights will get it back to Carroll. And now Drew Bay will try to start the attack.
And even though the Knights are doing a great job of passing there and a lot of traffic, you'd really like to see them bring the whole defense over towards them and then switch the sides of the fields, spread them out a little bit more.
Maybe because there were a lot of passes there and not many players spaced out too many yards.
Really know where to go with the ball.
Looks like better spacing this time, but the pass too long.
Yeah, the goalkeeper came right out to the top of the 18 there. Maybe if could have had 2 or 3 more yards, we would have seen an attack on goal there.
Greensboro with its passing just trying to get it a little up, and I think they called offsides.
You know, and we'll probably see a lot of offsides tonight.
Especially on Watt.
Yeah, Watt's there. He's gonna push the edge of the envelope. He's gonna try to make sure that he's right there, even with the
My guess
defenders.
is he'll trade 6 offside calls for a goal.
Yeah, and I'm sure the coach from Greensboro would agree with him there. Especially now that they're up a goal. Now he can really try to push the envelope.
Gordon Cox keeping that ball away from Watt. Morgan Palmer's coming in for the Knights.
Amin Gawal came in for Sean Watt, so now's the time that the Knights really need to push it on the offensive end. Not have to worry about the 6'4" Watt back there lurking on trying to get a counterattack.
That's down a goal, trying to gain possession here, keep possession, and really try to get something going on the offensive end.
And again, what we've seen from the Knights so far, much better passing, better attacking mentality. Just that one counter attack goal that the Pride have that really Carroll had no business or no real way to stop that shot.
And lucky only to be down 1-0 with that good centering pass that Watt just misfired on.
Yeah.
Now Greensboro setting up its offense here with a 1-0 lead.
Oh, this is another dangerous situation.
About 28 yards out.
28 yards out. Let's see the Knights throw a 4-person wall up, but still a lot of things could happen here. The good news is Watt's out, the big 6'4" frame, so you don't have to worry too much about him just going to the middle of the box and trying to get the header. Nice job of the Knights there, just shielding off, making sure that they get the goal kick.
So Southern Virginia, Mike, has done a pretty good job defensively holding down the Greensboro offense, just not able to manufacture any offense of their own.
Now we've seen them be able to pass the ball up until about 30 yards from the goal, and then after that, Greensboro just shuts them down.
Hogan getting it up to Palmer. But Greensboro takes it away.
Again, see how the Pride just spread the Knights out on that switch of the field.
You can see Greensboro's philosophy with the passing. They just want to constantly advance the ball, even though it looks like with their passes they're only advancing 5-10 yards at a time.
Again, that puts a lot of pressure on the defense, which in turn puts pressure on the goalkeeper, Keenan Carroll.
So we'll have to see from a stamina standpoint how that impacts the Knights maybe in the second half then. Because as you mentioned, very tough on your stamina to go ahead and chase constantly throughout a contest.
Yeah, we'll have to see what type of substitutions that the Knights have for the rest of this game.
Knights able to kick it away there. Hogan making the play.
Quick start.
Nice block by the Knights on that shot.
Yeah, Greg Allen back there playing defense.
Foul on to Greensboro.
And you don't want to play with the ball back there too much. The Greensboro has shown how fast they are to the ball, and we don't want to make a mistake 15, 20 yards away from the goal.
Smedley battles for it, comes up with it, but it's like 1-on-4.
Oh, nice.
Pass in the middle. Oh, the shot just tails off. Cade Lowe almost had the goal. That didn't miss by much, maybe a foot or two.
Oh, nice job by Smedley to set Lowe up. Lowe just couldn't curl it into the near goal post.
He almost did exactly what you said, Mike. Got the first goal after getting the last goal a couple of games ago.
Yeah, it would be nice to see someone get a goal here in the first half to break that drought that they have.
Long scoring drought as far as the minutes are concerned. I'm talking well over 200, 250. They scored, of course, early in the Roanoke game. That was in the first half. Shut out in the second half. Shut out the last two games after that.
Oh, nice little pass ahead. Flynn took a bad angle at it.
Good defense, though, by the Knights, specifically Hogan, to knock that away.
Yeah, again, just making sure that the ball gets cleared out. Don't worry about giving up the corner until now, and then make sure that all your players get back to play defense here.
And we'll have the men's contest coming up Saturday against Salisbury. Doubleheader on Saturday. We'll webcast the first game, the men's game. And the women, of course, will have Salisbury in the nightcap of that doubleheader coming up Saturday from the fields at Southern Virginia University. And then next weekend, of course, homecoming weekend, we've got women's soccer Friday night, next Friday night, a week from this coming Friday night. And then a week from Saturday, we've got football against Montclair State, Mike, and also men's soccer following the football game.
Yeah, long day on Saturday, homecoming happening. Hope everybody can join us. And even if we're not broadcasting the games, most of all the games will have live stats to go along with them. So we encourage anybody to look in and see how the Knights do.
And we'll have to see how the football team does, not only against Wesley on Saturday on the road, very tough opponent, but when they get back here at home for homecoming against Montclair State.
Yeah, two tough teams that they're playing. Obviously, Wesley ranked in the top 5 for Division III football, and going and playing at Wesley is always a tough thing to do.
Although I saw Wesley had a very close call on Saturday. North Central?
Yeah.
Only ended up winning that game by less than a touchdown, I think.
.26. Christian Rice checks in for Southern Virginia now.
So I started several games this season. Coach Patino has to be relatively pleased, keeping it very close, only 1-0. Just a matter of trying to get some offense going here.
Yeah, we saw a great try by Cade Lowe being set up by Isaac Smedley. We just need to see more of those connections trying to be made and build-ups being made to keep Greensboro out of the offensive end.
So that Wesley game we talked about, they ended up being North Central by a point, I think, 50-49.
A lot of offense in the Wesley games. Hopefully the Knights can get on track on offense against Wesley.
Here, the men's soccer team battling Greensboro, 1-0, just a little over 15 minutes to go till halftime. And much like the women, they kind of struggled in their first half trying to get shots on goal, Mike, and just shots, period. Only had one shot against Barton in the first half of the first game today. And the men have kind of struggled to get shots off and shots on goal.
Yeah, the one shot on goal that they have is a tremendous shot. Looked like the official score gave him a shot on goal, but that was a great shot that we saw set up by Smedley to Lowe. Lowe just brought it too close or too far to the right of the goal, and just a very near miss.
And of course, Greensboro also had a near miss on a nice centering pass from the left side. Watt went off with his shot to the right instead of going into the goal, and could easily be 2-0 Greensboro right now. So right now it's a 1-goal lead for the Pride of Greensboro.
Offsides on Greensboro again.
You can see, though, they like to attack with the senior Robbie Barnes down the left side.
Yeah, now that Watt's out of the game, they look like they want to attack down the sidelines and maybe find Goya roaming the middle.
Couple of substitutions for Greensboro. Have not seen Mullaball come in the game yet for the Knights.
Yeah, we have for Greensboro College, we have Jared Heller in for Robbie Barnes and Joel Cortez for Carlos Barragan.
Carroll comes out and gets it.
Yeah, and almost a little lackadaisical on both Carroll and the defender back for the Knights. Just let the ball bounce there as Goyle came in very quick and hard.
Gervais pass and stolen away. Now Greensboro goes on the attack. Heller, left side.
Long shot there trying to go for number 3, Jared Heller. Just not able to chase it down. Fortunate for the Knights because that would have been a really good chance to head the ball in.
And Carroll was kind of caught in no man's land with that pass. That's working it upfield to Smedley, but he loses it. And now he gets it back.
There's Ramirez trying to switch the field. Very heady player. Like to see more of the Knights try to take that approach and switch the field several times, trying to stretch out that defense of the Pride.
Make Greensboro run a little bit.
Yeah, anytime you're chasing, you're expending a lot of energy.
Christian Rice gets the foul there.
Quick start by the Pride. Try to get the ball ahead to Goyle.
He's got some size, too.
He's a very physical player, isn't he?
They list him as only 6 feet, 177 pounds. Looks bigger than that.
And you see the Pride backing the ball out, trying to build up again. Looking to go down the near sideline just a little bit long.
You got to figure that Coach Patino is pleased the way his team has played here in this first half. And again, they're only down by a goal.
Well, this is maybe the best that we've seen them play as a unit for an extended period of time. It's just that one goal that they gave up puts them in a hole that is really hard for the Knights to dig out of now because, again, not being able to score for 3 matches is just really hard to come back from. We saw Lowe have a great chance to put the Knights on the board to even things up, just pulled it a little bit wide to the right.
So Will Guyman is going to come in for the Knights, as well as Joseph Patino. Patino is a junior. Guyman is also a junior. I haven't seen Guyman a whole lot this year.
No, we haven't. And he's coming on, trying to help the Knights any way possible.
Goya goes down. He's tripped from behind by Flynn.
We'll see what type of wall that the Knights put up now in front of Keenan. Nice job by Flynn just to get it out.
Greensboro tries to keep it in, and Knights able to clear it again. Heller left side, centering pass, knocked away by the Knights.
Again, now this is getting a little dangerous as the Knights aren't able to really clear the ball from their end in this last 8.5 minutes. We got to see if they can make sure that they keep the ball coming away from the goal. Have a Knight that's injured. The clock stopped. Looks like it might have been Colin Flynn. May have just got the breath knocked out of him.
Drew Bay will go ahead and throw it in now as the Knights get going again, trying to get the offense going here. And another whistle.
Foul on Guyman. Looks like he may have pushed just a little bit with his off arm, but maybe some good acting there by Scott Fatal.
Well, certainly, Mike, the one thing you don't want to do here in the closing minutes of this first half is give up another goal.
Yeah, that's why the Knights really need to clear the ball deep to the other end and then play a possession game, trying to build up, just as we see the Pride do, and attack the goal. Again, see how fast that the Pride are trying to play. Don't even want to let their own subs in. I think that was number 24 that came in, Alex Casaderos. Casaderos, a 6'1" junior. Again, they keep on throwing people out there in the middle of the field. 6'4", 6'1".
Does Bryce Watt hasn't been played in the last few minutes?
Well, with a 1-0 lead, and the Knights really not mounting an attack that is putting a lot of pressure on the defense, why not let him rest? You're getting ready for your conference season also.
Greensboro doing a good job there to keep it on the Southern Virginia end. Now the Knights try to get it out of there and do.
Let's see what kind of attack now that the Knights can mount.
Look at the scoreboard, still looking for that first shot on goal.
Yeah, tough official scores. I thought that goal, that shot that Lowe had.
I know it went away from the goal, but it was a good look by Cade Lowe.
And didn't miss by much. It may have even grazed the upright.
Nice header by Greensboro to get it back into the Southern Virginia end. Oh, and Carroll comes out and barely is able to escape a Greensboro player who hits the ground hard and goes down. And is still lying down there out on the field, Mike, as play continues.
Yeah, a little lackadaisical play by the defender.
And now they'll blow the whistle.
I couldn't see what number it was, but Carroll had to come out hard and low and got the ball first, and then maybe had his cleats get into the player from Greensboro. So again, this last 5 minutes, we don't really want to give up a lot of chances to the Pride, and being able to clear the ball and keep the ball in the offensive end will reduce those chances that the Pride could have.
Hard to see exactly what the problem might be, but it looks like obviously it's the foot or the leg.
I couldn't see who it was as far as numbers, but I'm going to make a guess that it was Alex Casaderos who just checked in. He's taking the place of Watt, who was taking and Goyle, and that's the position that they were always in, right there in the middle of the field, especially in front of the goal.
Now he's up, and that's a good sign. He was very close though to getting to that ball before Carroll got to it.
Yeah, they tried to play the ball back to Carroll and just did it kind of lackadaisical. Casaderos never let up and was coming hard, and another step and he would have had a chance on goal.
And it looks like he's able to be able to walk off the field on his own, basically under his own power.
You know, he's probably a little disappointed that some of his playing time is going to slip away from him.
That, and he came again very close to maybe getting a good shot. But Carroll just beat him to the ball.
He'll stay there at the sub area, ready to come in at the next stoppage of play. We're seeing this last 5 minutes if the Knights can find another combination like we saw with Smedley and Lowe and try to attack the goal and get a good shot off.
Haven't had a whole lot of those combinations here recently. They've been shut out the last two games. And when you look at it from a half standpoint, they've been shut out, the last 5 halves, Mac. Hadn't scored since the first half of that Rono game.
Yeah, it's been a long drought for the Knights, and all of them are trying to work through this drought, especially the coaching staff trying to figure out what exactly they need to do to shake up this offense.
Another Greensboro player is down.
That's Casaderos again. He came back in, tried to chase the ball down.
Looks like he's just not ready to come back.
Yeah, they're going to have to get him off the field and really examine that foot.
Kind of surprised that he went from being down right to the sub box.
Yeah, able to come right back in, and they wanted to get him off the field just to make sure that he wasn't in any danger to start play all over again. So Brooks will come in for Casaderos now, and the Knights will start the play. And this is not what we want to see, is the Knights giving up possession so easily, especially in this part of the field on their half.
Carroll will boot it out of there after getting the pass from Hogan.
And nice, a goal kick able to come for the Knights. Now again, possession is going to be key. Get down into the offensive end. Try to put pressure on the goalkeeper for the Pride.
Trubay gets it over to a teammate, to Greg Allen. Now the Knights will try to work it up with just a little over 3 minutes left. Don't want to make any mistakes here, Mike, but you do want to try to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you don't want to really commit everybody going to the offensive end and open yourself up to a counterattack, but you do want to try to attack and not just play a defensive game. You are down 1-0 and you can't score from your side of the field. You have to get into the opponent's side of the field.
And you wonder if that's really weighing on their minds a whole lot, Mike, the fact that the Knights have not scored more than one goal all season long in a game.
Well, it could be in the back of their mind and may start to have them press a little bit, but they just got to play one play at a time and one pass at a time and try to build up in order to help their teammates out and not try to do it all by themselves.
Played by Colin Flynn to get the ball momentarily. Battle for it. Greensboro's got it. Nice pass into the middle. Knights will have it with 2 minutes left. Carroll's pass stolen away, though, Mike. Wide shot and high and over by Heller.
And these last few mistakes that we've seen the Knights make, especially on their passes, not being able to clear the ball, really putting Greensboro in a great position to try to add that second goal in this last minute and a half. Guyman over mixing it up.
Greensboro works it up to the left to Heller.
Stayed onside for that long pass.
Good defense by Drew Bay.
Ball just kicked out. Looks like it might be a corner kick.
Clock ticking down. Under 40 seconds to go now. And Heller will kick from the left side towards the middle. Overshot his teammates. Long shot by Greensboro, saved by Carroll.
Again, try to counterattack, but don't leave yourself exposed for the Greensboro to come back on you in these last few seconds.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be it for the first half, Mike. A 1-0 lead at halftime for Greensboro.
Yeah, we saw a lot of nice play by the Knights. Very good passing. Unfortunately, they just let a few mistakes happen that allowed the Pride to get that great shot on goal. We saw the Knights build up. Smedley making a nice pass to Lowe, trying to break that drought of goals not being scored. Just was able to pull it too wide right of the goal, and that's where we're at halftime, 1-0.
And we'll check out the first half numbers a little later on when we come back. But, Mike, I'm sure they're going to be a little bit like the women's game against Barton. They trailed Barton 3-0 at halftime, ended up losing that game in the first game 5-0. And in that game, the Knights, the women's team, just didn't have a whole lot of shots. Only had one shot at halftime. Not too many shots on goal, obviously, none, I think. And I would imagine when we'll see the halftime numbers, it'll be pretty much for the men, pretty similar.
Yeah, no shots on goals for the Knights, no corners for the Knights. I think they have 3 shots on goal for the Pride, 4 corners, and obviously the biggest thing that's making a difference is the 1 goal that the Pride do have.
So again, your halftime score here is Greensboro 1 and Southern Virginia 0. We'll take a little break, come back for second half action in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the fields at Southern Virginia University. Jim Bresnahan, Mike Harmon getting ready to bring you second half action of our second game today. In the first contest, women's soccer matchup, it was Barton over Southern Virginia 5-0 here. In the men's soccer contest matchup, first half action is done, and Greensboro here as we get ready to start the second half. Mike has a 1-0 lead over Southern Virginia University. Shots in that first period, Greensboro taking 7 shots, the Knights taking just 2 shots, 4 corner kicks for the Pride of Greensboro, no corner kicks for the Knights.
Yeah, not that bad out of whack as far as one team dominating the other in shots like we saw in the women's game. But the big key is Greensboro does have the 1 goal. The Knights are behind. Again, 3.5 games that they haven't scored in so far.
Most shots on goal also for the Knights in that first half.
Yeah, it's just we're looking for the offense to really start to pick itself up and find some type of spark.
So stands to reason, Mike, this pretty much like it is usually the case in a tight game going into the second half. Whoever scores first, it could be a huge goal if the Knights get it. Suddenly the game is tied. If they don't get it, if Greensboro winds up with it, suddenly it's a 2-goal game.
Yeah, if Greensboro gets it and the Knights aren't able to score before Greensboro scores a second one, that's really going to be hard for the Knights to come back because we haven't seen them score more than 1 goal in a game.
And at that point, down by 2, and they haven't scored in nearly 3 games. So the Knights have their work cut out as they try to go onto the offensive attack here. Greg Allen had it, lost it, and now Greensboro back on the attack. Looks like Watt is back out there.
Yeah, it looks like they're back with their full starting lineup as the Knights are. Again, we see the Pride really switch the sides of the field, looking to spread the defense out of the Knights, and then with Watt in there, they're looking to get him the ball in the middle of the field and let him take over.
That's doing a good job bottling him up in that first half. Josh Smith right that time was trying to force the action. Greensboro works it up.
Right there in case a mistake was made, and that might be the best thing for the Knights is if they can keep on putting a little bit of pressure there, cause a mistake to be made, and have a chance at an open goal.
Greensboro left side high kick over the goal.
And now again we're seeing the Pride come out and do what they did in the first half. Keep on attacking the goal, throwing the ball to the front doorstep and seeing if someone can be there to put it in.
Well, I mentioned Greensboro again coming in with a subpar record, just a couple of wins on the year, but they had played a very tough schedule. Now, the one thing they haven't done this season in many contests is do a whole lot of scoring.
Yeah, but we've seen them create a lot of chances. And the way the Knights are playing right now and have played this season, 1 goal differential is really monumental for them.
Nice pass left side for Greensboro, but they're going to whistle offsides, it looks like.
Yeah, again, that's Watt.
Is that his 3rd or 4th offside today?
I think that's his 3rd. We saw Goyle come in and have an offside called on him. They really try to press the defense, making sure that if they don't get back with them, they're going to have a great chance at goal. Again, look how quickly the Pride tried to restart the ball.
Even though it wasn't a shot on goal, the Knights did have a good look at getting a goal in that first half with Cade Lowe after a pass by Smedley, but Lowe's shot went off to the right.
And that's the best shot that we've seen the Knights have in the past few games.
Carroll will chase that one down.
Nice job by Carroll. Very, very aggressive going toward the ball. Makes up his mind very quickly and then acts on it. Well, one thing we'd like to see is the Knights learn something from each game that they play. and take something away maybe from their opponent that they can put into their own arsenal. The thing that I'd like to see them do is switch the fields a little bit more. That'll spread the defense out and allow the Knights to really attack more one-on-one instead of one against 3 or 4.
Knights have an opportunity here. Josh Smith with it. Goes down between defenders, no call. Here's Watt up the right side. He got by a defender. Tried to go back to the middle. No one there as far as the teammate is concerned.
Yeah, Court Cox is able to step up and play at the head.
Well, Mike, we mentioned coming up on Saturday we've got a doubleheader. Capital Conference doubleheader. Salisbury comes to town. Carroll able to get there before the Greensboro player, before Watt.
Another quick decision by Carroll to come out. Any kind of hesitation there, and Watt would have had a great chance to go one-on-one with him in goal. Yeah, we'll be broadcasting the men's game. The women's game can be seen on Live Stats.
And the men's game will start Saturday at noon against Salisbury. The men's football team playing on the road Saturday at Wesley. And their next home game is October the 10th, the homecoming game against Montclair. You have to check that volleyball schedule to see when the next volleyball webcast is and if what the Knights are doing this weekend. Because you guys have had several volleyball webcasts here in the last week or so.
Yeah, we were able to have the game against Christopher Newport just the other day. Unfortunately, they went down to the number 3 team in the nation, 3-0. But the first set, it was a 25-21 score, and the Knights really showed that they're going to be a great defensive team this year.
Greensboro trying to work it up. Knights trying to get it out. Of course, the volleyball team, just like every other sport here in the fall, Mike, really battling reduced numbers because of injuries.
Yeah, I've had some injuries, especially to the 3-year starter at setter, Caitlin Toulousek. They lost their coach to USU Eastern, and just was able to bring in a coach about 2 or 3 days before the season started, so the recruiting really didn't happen as much as they would like, so they're down to about 11 players.
So the Knights will be in action on Saturday, playing on the road, it looks like, at York. And then back home, I believe, next Wednesday for St. Mary's. Watt over the top. He kicked it a little too hard, and he just got it off to the left.
Again, Carroll's able to come out, take just enough of the angle away.
And Watt's biggest mistake there might have been just kicking it a little too far in front, allowing Carroll to really close the gap between him. And then by the time that gap had been closed, Mike, just not a whole lot of things that Watt could have done with it. High centering pass, sails wide to the right.
But you can see even though the Pride hasn't scored, they're kind of re-energized now after that attack by Watt.
Knights trying to clear here to get it out of their own end. Still just a 1-goal game, and the Knights want to keep it that way until they can get into the offensive zone. Steal by Greensboro. They're back on the attack.
Saw Watt back up there as he was in offsides.
Josh Smith with the steal. Over to Gabe. And now Ramirez. Gets it to Greg Allen. Francis lost it.
And again, you see how Greensboro presses up anytime that the Knights take the ball back to Carroll.
Yeah, Watt's right there, maybe hoping for a big mistake.
Yeah, any kind of rebound, he wants to try to jump on it. And we'd like to see the Knights, and we did see the Knights do the same thing. They're just not able to keep the ball down in their offensive end enough to put that type of pressure on.
Nice centering pass to Watt. Watt couldn't control it. And the Knights are able to kick it out of there. But another good chance there, Mike, for Watt. Now the shot. And in for Greensboro. What a shot that was.
Yeah, that's about 30 yards out.
And he put it in the upper right corner where Carroll just could not possibly get to it.
Yeah, that's almost impossible for any goalkeeper to get. And again, we've seen a lot of shots tonight, both on the women's game and the men's game. A lot of pace on the ball. No little excuse me goals that are going in.
And that was a huge goal for the Pride. Now they are up on this ball game 2-0 with 35:08 to go.
And unfortunately for the Knights, who haven't been able to score multiple goals in their games, that 2-goal lead may as well be a 4 or 5 goal lead.
Based on past history, the immediate history this season, Knights have kind of struggled at home, haven't won at home yet, and struggling with the offense all season long, have never scored more than a goal in any game this year, and now trail by 2.
Well, plenty of time for the Knights to come back. It doesn't take much to get that equalizing goal. First thing they have to do is put some pressure offensively on the Pride, get some shots on goal, get that first one to go in, and then we might be able to see things open up for the Knights.
Court Cox battling Watt for the ball. Watt passes to a teammate. Nice pass on the right side. And, Carroll with a good stop.
Yeah, that was almost a point-blank shot at Carroll's chest.
Craig Gage was the one who had that shot. It was a nice pass by Greensboro. The other way, Josh Smith can't track it down.
But a good attempt by the Knights at a counterattack.
And what a save by Carroll. If that goes in, suddenly it's 3-0.
Going toward the far goal post. We saw Court Cox trying to come in.
I was going to say the Knights haven't scored a lot off corner kicks, and here lately, Mike, they haven't had a lot of corner kicks.
No, they haven't been able to manufacture those corner kicks as much, I'm sure, as Coach Patino and his staff, Coach Tibbs, would like to see. Drew Bay tried to play the ball through. Again, nice thought, but just not well enough on the execution.
There's Watt. Nice lead pass up the right side, or left side. And now the Pride trying to go back to the right side to Gage. Gage can't really get a good foot on the ball, and easy save there for Carroll.
Yeah, a little bit of a mishit there, fortunately for the Knights.
So the Knights had their first corner kick. They have yet to get a shot on goal, though, Mike. And trail now 2-0. Turnover there for Greensboro. Whistle against the Pride.
Looks like Smith is going to come and take the free kick.
Well, what do you think? 45 yards away?
Long kick. And that Pride player needs to back up just a little bit more. There we go.
See what Josh will do with it here.
Tries to chip it in over the top.
Headed away by Greensboro.
Again, see that switch of the fields.
Josh Smith trying to go through a crowd there, Mike.
Unfortunately loses the ball. Oh, this is going to be a one-on-one if the Knights can't get back.
Watt is there. Good defensive play by the Knights to get back, though, by Drew Bay.
Yeah, nice effort by Drew Bay to get back. Never gave up on the play.
You know, Watt strikes me as he's had 2 or 3 really good chances to score goals tonight and has not been able to do so.
Yeah, fortunately the Knights have been able to bottle him up, just not able to keep the pride off the scoreboard.
Watt gets free and fires, and he shoots wide.
And one thing that we see happen is if a team pays so much attention to one player, that just draws attention away from others that find the open net. The 2 goals that were scored by Greensboro, one by Robbie Barnes and assisted by Carlos Berrigan, and then in the second goal, Berrigan was able to just fire a laser in.
Nice passing by Greensboro. 1 pass too many, and it's swiped away by the Knights.
Again, we see, just like on the women's side, we see these flashes of great play by the Knights, but they're just too few and too far in between. More consistency is something that the Knights really have to concentrate on.
Greensboro with an opportunity, trying a centering pass. No one there as far as the teammate is concerned. So
And it looked like it went right past Gage. Just timed his steps. The ball went through his legs.
swiped away by Greensboro. Suddenly they've got a chance here. Good defensive play by, was that Court Cox knocking the attacker away, allowing Carroll to pick it up. Smith hit from behind. Whistle blows on Greensboro.
Another free kick in the middle of the field. A little bit closer this time.
Just a couple of yards. Last time Josh went right down the middle looking for a teammate. Tries it again.
Long pass downfield to Watt.
He starts the attack up the left side now. Centering pass, no one there. Back to the left. Watt kicks it out. And a really high shot by Scott Fatyall. Couple of substitutions coming in, Mike, for Greensboro. We have yet to see Mulaball play today. He, of course, played a little bit in the game Saturday at St. Mary's.
And we see him dressed out. Just don't know what his availability is. If maybe he re-injured himself a little bit in that play, or maybe the coaching staff's just keeping him out, trying to make sure he's as fresh as possible when they start again in conference play.
Because they'll have a big challenge, both the men's and women's team coming up on Saturday hosting Salisbury.
Major challenge, especially for the Knights men's team, as we see that Salisbury is ranked number 20 in the nation. So Morgan Palmer's in for Gabriel Ramirez for the Knights. For Greensboro College, Mike Zabalas is in for Craig Gage, and Ryan Mule is in for Scott Fatyall.
Colin Flynn with the pass in.
Oh, got a foul called on the Knights.
Guess against Greg Francis, maybe. Greensboro sets up on the left. Centering pass, no one there to receive it, though.
And the Knights are dodging some bullets here as those centering passes are rolling right through the middle with
And
nobody
especially
there.
that time, Mike, because the goalie was out of position and there were no defenders around.
Throw in for the Knights. It seems every time the Knights make a little mistake, the Greensboro Pride are there to send the ball down the field deep.
And usually there's 2 or 3 in on their offensive attack, too.
Yeah, they're very organized on their offensive attack, and it really shows you how good the team that they've lost to must be in order to keep them from scoring goals.
They've got 6 shots on goal, and the Knights are still looking for their first. Hard to believe, Mike. We have played, again here, 65 minutes, and again, the Knights have yet to get a shot on goal.
And you just not believe that from a standpoint of watching college soccer, you'd always think that at least your offense could generate at least one shot on goal a game, and we're seeing the Knights being shut out, not only on goals but shots.
Just have the one corner kick. Christian Rice going to re-enter the contest for the Knights.
See Drebay in the back as a defender there. Saw him chase down a couple long balls there and put some pressure on Greensboro College. Before he was playing in a forward position, one of the kids that have scored a goal for the Knights, but it looks like he may find a new home in that backline defense.
Centering pass taken away by the Knights. Hogan right there. Greensboro doesn't lose it for long, though.
Greensboro's caught off sides, but even if they weren't, you saw Hogan on Drebay there chasing the ball down. Very quick player.
Let's see if the Knights can generate some offense here in the final 23 minutes, Mike, to first get a shot on goal and then maybe get a goal.
And they're going to be really disciplined again in their passing and making sure that they don't try to do too much individual, but rely on the team, because that's the only way that they're really going to be able to mount any type of attack.
Momentary steal by Cade Lowe, but Greensboro gets it right back. Lowe's been getting a lot of minutes. He had a good look at a goal today. Had the last goal the Knights scored a couple of games ago against Roanoke.
He's a player that the Knights are really high on. Again, as he matures and grows, he'll be even more valuable to the team.
Just a freshman. Heller's going to check back in now for Greensboro.
Again, we see just a lot of players coming in for the Pride. They try to keep as many fresh people out there as possible, especially their attackers.
And Greensboro quickly on the attack. They like the centering pass. Try it again. And a goal for Greensboro. And
That was Watt. You put the ball one too many times on the doorstep, eventually you're going to be able to walk in. Watt was able to find the ball there on the ground, and there wasn't a lot that Keenan could do.
Good centering pass, and suddenly 3-0 Greensboro. Sam Kelly going to check in now for the Knights. And out goes Cade Lowe. So now a monumental challenge here for the Knights. Now down by 3 goals, Mike, with just a little over 21 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, and they can't think about 3 goals. They have to think about getting that first goal. And so guys just need to concentrate on trying to run their formation as best as they can, making the good passes, and keeping possession. That's what we've seen that really has caused the problem is they can get possession, but they don't keep it for more than 2 or 3 passes.
Whereas Greensboro does a pretty good job of keeping possession. At least tonight they have.
Don't know what the stoppage of play was for. Had the line judge go out.
So Patino will check in here for the Knights.
Have number 20 Cameron Horton come in for Greensboro. Again, waiting for the play to start again. Don't really know what the holdup is. Maybe there's a bat on the field, or don't know if someone's down, but both teams are going towards their bench.
So it's a 3-0 game right now with 21:05 to go.
There's an injured player down on the field just right outside the view of the frame there. Colin Flynn is. We have Chad Mahaffey, our trainer, over checking him out. Looks like he may be working on a calf area.
So with the stoppage of play due to that, both teams get a little break here with 21:05 to go.
And this is not what either team wanted. Now they start to cool off a little bit, and after you cool off, trying to get that sweat going again, this is when some injuries could happen, some little strains. So it's not the greatest time to have. Well, there's never a good time to have an injury, but neither team wanted to see that. They just wanted to keep on playing and keep that sweat going, so we don't have any type of injury. Colin must be up and probably walking him around the long way to get him off the field.
Well, if things don't change here, Mike, and the Knights do not get a goal, or perhaps even worse, not a shot on goal, then the question becomes is so how they can prepare themselves mentally, struggling so much with the offense, facing a team like Salisbury on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Don't know how they're going to change those things around. Again, it's really when they score that first goal to break the drought, that'll just raise the confidence level up so much that we might see an onslaught of goals then. And it's just the law of averages. At some point, that first goal has to come.
And the last chance came earlier today. Cade Lowe had a good look at it. Cade Lowe, of course, the last one to score a goal. But that was a few games ago. They've been shut out 2 straight games. Shut out in the second half against Roanoke College. And in fact, when you consider that the goal by Lowe against Roanoke came relatively early in the first half, they were shut out for a good remaining portion of the first half.
Yeah, it's just it's been a long drought, and again, it's just what can the Knights do to manufacture that first goal? And I don't think there's anything you can put your finger on and say they have to do this. It's just a lot of little things. Again, a lot of people are playing in new positions because of some injuries that have happened, new formations that they're playing with, and it's just a combination of a lot of little small things.
Good.
Opposite side of the field, we can see Colin walking off. Glad to see him not seriously injured. Hopefully it's just a small little cramp that fluids can take care of.
Good defense for the Knights for the most part, especially in the first half when they only gave up 1 goal, but they've given up a couple here in the second half now.
And again, a very young team trying to learn how to play a full 90 minutes instead of just 20 minutes here and there.
7 shots on goal for the game for the Pride of Greensboro. Again, no shots on goal thus far for the Knights. Smedley going to check back in now for the Knights. He's played well at times, had a nice pass tonight, setting up Lowe's opportunity.
Yeah, the Knights just need to figure out how they can make those chances happen more for them.
And you wonder if Greensboro might play a little bit more down the stretch here in the last 15, 18 minutes, Mike, a little keep away, trying to run clock, or if they're more content going after their 4th goal tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they're really doing a lot of possession passing right now, keeping the ball in the offensive end, obviously, because they don't want the Knights to have any type of counterattack, but really a great build-up there. Took about 2 minutes off the clock on that build-up.
Good strip there by Greensboro to take the ball away from the Knights.
Yeah, great slide tackle. And able to keep the ball in, which was really impressive.
Pass too far, and it'll be the Knights with the ball now.
And it looks like they called him offsides, too. Again, Greensboro taking some chances. You got a 3-goal lead. You know that your opponent has been struggling lately to score goals. Why not take the chances to add to the score?
And so far, at least, Mike, a relatively easy night for the goalkeeper for Greensboro College.
Yeah, no real shots on goal. We've seen one that we thought may have come close to a shot on goal as it slid right by the near goal post. But not a lot of pressure put on the goalkeeper by the Knights.
Will Guyman checking back in now for the Knights.
And a lot of these players are getting some experience and playing time, trying to find, again, that combination of players that give the Knights a great chance to attack the goal.
Foul called on Greensboro.
Josh Smith will take the free kick again and sends it in towards the goal. Oh, trying to go to Court Cox, just not able to get up high enough to really get a good shot on it.
Had the right idea. Would have been a tough shot to stop, but the Pride comes away with it momentarily, stripped away by the Knights.
So we saw
Smith will take it here.
Yeah, we saw Josh on the other side about this same distance away from the goal. Let's see what they do this time. If they're going to try to go to court again in the air.
Nope, he's going to take a shot. Actually got it down there to court, but a little too far and to the left of the goal, so it's Greensboro ball here with 15-12 to go. So Greensboro's going to replace its goalkeeper here, Mike.
Yeah, they're going to give Pribble a chance at goal to get some playing time.
Carroll's gone all the way in goal for the Knights, giving up 3. Knights have played much better defensively tonight than they did, obviously, last Saturday at St. Mary's, but the offensive struggles continue.
Yeah, they played much better defensively than they did last weekend. But anytime that you struggle scoring goals, really your defense starts to break down and you have no answer to come back against the team.
Smith works it up the left side. A little too far, knocked away by Greensboro.
More subs coming in. Bailey comes in for the Pride now. And we may see a lot of liberal substitutions for the Pride now with less than 14 minutes to play. They're up by 3.
Doesn't appear Lamulaball is going to play tonight for the Knights, and we'll see if he'll play on Saturday against Salisbury.
Yeah, I'm sure that he believes that he's ready, but again, it's a training staff that has to really watch out for the well-being of the players, and has probably told the coaching staff it might be best that he doesn't play today. But we'll check out his availability for Saturday.
Knights lose the ball momentarily, but I'll get it back. And you wonder about Salisbury. What's the biggest concern there on Saturday against Salisbury? Will it be obviously trying to shut down their offense or trying to generate some offense of your own?
Well, again, Salisbury comes in ranked number 20 in the nation. You can't look at the rankings and if you're Coach Patino, you just tell your players, hey, this is why you play soccer. You want to play the best.
Just another Capital Conference game. Huh?
Yeah, you want to play the best. Here's the best. We have nothing to lose. All the pressure's on Salisbury. So the Knights should come out and play really loose and hopefully play loose enough that they can manufacture some goals.
Try to figure out the way they scored that first goal against Verona College, a thing of beauty, and try to bottle it, as they say, and repeat it over and over again.
Oh, yeah. If they could replicate that, then they would have no problems.
Centering pass, no one there for Greensboro. Knights still, again, looking for that first shot on goal. We're now down to 12 minutes left in the game. Have to check the stat book, Mike, to see when's the last time the Knights finished a game without a shot on goal.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to the...
Don't think that occurred in the last couple of shutouts.
Yeah, we'll have the SID department look at that and come up with those stats. Hopefully,
not a very usual occurrence, I would.
No,
think.
I don't think so. And hopefully the Knights can remedy that, and we don't have to look that up in the next 11 minutes.
Well, the clock is becoming a factor along those lines, down to under 11:30 left in the game.
Oh, nice play by Guyman. Just put it too far ahead.
Rice with a header upfield. But the problem you mentioned, Mike, has plagued the Knights throughout the second half and throughout the contest, just not able to string enough connected passes together.
Yeah, the Pride let them play with the ball down in their defensive end for 3 or 4 passes. But once they start to get close to midfield, they really put the clamps down on them and cause the Knights to turn the ball over.
Another shot in from the outside. That one comes from about 25 yards away or so. As that goal is scored by Warren Washington, sophomore from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Now Greensboro leads 4-0.
And we saw one of the Greensboro Pride players run over the top of the ball, kind of fake everybody out. And then
and pretty much what you said, another authoritative shot.
Yeah, there was no arc on that ball. That was a ball with a lot of pace.
Christian Rice couldn't handle it, so Greensboro back on the attack. Under 10 minutes to go. 4-goal lead now for Greensboro. It was a 1-goal game at halftime.
And we were just talking about how well the Knights were playing on defense in that first half. Again, we talked about maybe bottling up the way that the Knights scored their last goal. They need to bottle up the way they played defense in that first half and bring that with them all games.
Women, of course, losing to Barton in the first game, 5-0. They trailed that game at halftime 3-0 and gave up 2 second-half goals. Here, the Knights trailed 1-0 at halftime, have given up 3 second-half goals, and now trail by 4. Josh Smith was trying to bring it upfield, ran into a Greensboro player. Call against Greensboro.
And we'll have to see if Josh again tries to look for Court Cox going over the top. Maybe he'll even take a shot here and try to get the first shot on goal.
That's again without several players tonight. Haven't seen Mullabaugh. Lonergan's been out. That's another key piece missing today for the Knights.
Munoz is out.
Yep, another big offensive player. Blocked by Greensboro.
Sam Horman, who is a defensive mainstay on the back row. We saw him with his nose bandaged up as he had it broke.
Greensboro quickly going from defense to offense. Nice pass on a return pass.
Great shot at a give and go.
High shot left side over the goal. Knights with shots on goal, outshot 8-0. 4-1 in corner kicks for the Pride of Greensboro.
Some subs coming in for Greensboro College. Number 16, Fisher. Number 11, Gage.
Tino with it now in the middle. Trying to get it upfield. Trying to make sure the Knights get at least a shot on goal tonight. But the clock is starting to tick down on that. Smith bumped from behind, and now we got a call on Greensboro. Smith's been knocked off the ball several times tonight.
Yeah, he's found the ground about as much as Zoe Bradshaw has found the ground for the Lady Knights.
Stolen away by Greensboro. Pride on the attack, or trying to go on the attack. More collisions and another whistle, I think, on Greensboro.
Yeah, it looks like that was Hogan that was taken down.
Now remember, Saturday at noon we will have the men's webcast. We'll have men's soccer. Southern Virginia taking on Salisbury Saturday at noon, Mike. And the second game, the women's contest, as you mentioned, will not be webcast, but they'll be playing Salisbury, and it should be very interesting as far as the women's contest is concerned, in addition to the men's game at noon Saturday.
Yeah, we'll have to see who really makes it back from the injured list. That's
For both the men's
for both
and
teams
women's,
that are very extensive for both men and women. Although we won't be broadcasting the game on the web, you can come and check out the women's game with live stats and see how they do. We would really like for you to support the Knights any way that you can.
Yeah, you mentioned another key missing part tonight, and that was really Hughes and Carlos Munoz. The offense seems to deflate a little bit when he's out of the game.
Yeah, he's one of the playmakers for the Knights. Really tries to push the ball forward. Really good at passing and setting up his teammates. So substitutions in for the Knights. We have Ammon Hardy in for Isaac Smedley, and we have Costner Olson in for Keenan Carroll. Also Tanner Holcomb in for Sam Cayley, and Greensboro Wyatt Villasera in for Liam Buckley.
Under 5 minutes to go in this game. 4-0 Greensboro on top.
And again, you don't see Greensboro going back into the shell. They're still out there playing, trying to press up, looking for those long over-the-top passes or passes through the seams, trying to get that fifth goal. For the Knights, monumental that they try to get a shot on goal.
And the clock really starting to wind down on that. Down to almost 4 minutes left. Well, Josh Smith can maybe try that again here from about 32 yards away, Mike.
Oh, little chip shot. Oh,
Header!
Oh. Right off of the head. Just not able to deflect the ball to one side or the other. Went right.
Great idea. A great pass by Smith.
That was very well executed.
So it goes down as a shot on goal, obviously, Mike. So they have that, but just not the goal. And that was very close to becoming a goal for the Knights. No whistle. Players stopped playing there for a second, expecting maybe there was going to be a whistle.
And again, the Knights need to clear this ball out. Patino tried to play the ball ahead to Guyman, just wasn't able to make that connection.
So the Knights finally have a shot on goal, but not able to score a goal tonight so far with just 2:50 left.
Yeah, and it took about 87 minutes for that first shot on goal to happen.
And it came off a kick, too. Nice pass by Smith. And that was the backup goalkeeper, too, for Greensboro making that play.
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, not able to flick the ball to one side or the other, just straight ahead. Great pass again by Josh Smith, and we've seen him in earlier years really just go for the shot himself, but now using all his years of experience and trying to be a playmaker for others, and almost got the ball to slide by the defender.
Yeah, very tough, Mike, just to do a header, let alone to deflect it to left or right, depending on what you're able to see, provided you're able to really spot your situation.
Long shot. Oh, just wide left. Again, kind of caught the new keeper for Greensboro a little bit napping there. And that long shot just sailed wide left. And these are the shots you'd like to see earlier on in the game. Put more pressure on Greensboro or on any goalkeeper.
Under a minute to go. Knights trying to make sure it doesn't get any worse than 4-0. They've got the 1 shot on goal. 8 shots on goal for Greensboro. Towards the middle, towards the right now. Greensboro will track it down with 43 seconds to go.
Nice slide tackle. Take the ball away.
Fancy footwork there by the player from Greensboro. And the goalkeeper able to knock that shot away by Camden Brooks.
And it's still
Brooks gets it back.
Knights aren't able to clear the ball out.
And finally the Knights do with just 10 seconds to go in the game. And Mike, that'll do it. 4-0 final for Greensboro.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough game as far as the score goes. Knights played really well in the first half, defensively, offensively. Really wasn't able to get on track until the last 2 minutes to get those shots. 1 shot on goal and another shot going towards the goal. Hopefully they can take this springboard into the games coming up on Saturday. Big test in Salisbury, come in ranked number 20. Like to see some of the adjustments made, and maybe we'll see some of the players that are on the injured list back on Saturday, and they can make a difference.
And both the women and the men need those injured players back in the lineup, because tonight no goals for the women, no goals for the men. Shutout in both games. In the first game, the women's contest, it was Barton 5, Southern Virginia nothing. In game number 2, Mike, Greensboro College 4, Southern Virginia nothing. And as you mentioned, a tough doubleheader coming up on Saturday against Salisbury. We will webcast the first game Saturday at noon, and of course the women's contest will follow that webcasted men's soccer game.
Well, hopefully again the Knights can get their injured players back, find some consistency and some the right combinations to get some goals scored. No matter how great your defense is, if you can't score a goal, you can't win a game. And so we'd like to see the Knights really start to put some of the offensive firepower that they have to use.
So hopefully the Knights can turn it around Saturday against Salisbury. Make sure you join us Saturday at noon for Southern Virginia men's soccer action against Salisbury. That's going to wrap things up here from the fields at Southern Virginia University. For Mike Harmon and all the crew, I'm Jim Bresnahan. Thanks for joining us tonight.